Alright, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about possible dual EXs that can come. Of course, dual EX is a very cool concept. They just have not done it much. Of course, they have a lot of slots to fill for EXs and characters coming out. They have to get the cool newest character that just did a cool thing in the anime. So there's not very many chances for them to go back and create an EX that already existed. Of course, most dual EXs would be characters they just, slid over, or they just basically combined two characters and made a cool dual EX. Like the first one, I'm going to talk about Sanji and Zoro. We'll get to them in a second, but, we have technically Lucci. I would say you could call him a dual EX, because it's the same mechanic, basically. You hold the button, you change. You just switch into your hybrid form. Technically transform, but it's pretty much switching. It's the same thing that Yamato and Ace and Claw have, but... Of course, Zoro and Sanji, like I said, the first dual EX, probably the most likely to happen. Unfortunately, I think this will probably be our best chance to get an EX Sanji anytime soon. Of course, we already got Egghead Sanji, we got Oni Sanji, and yeah, this is probably our best chance to get him since they've already done the Egghead version for an EX at least. I doubt they're going to make V2 Egghead Sanji since, he doesn't change his appearance or anything like that, so... For this EX, of course, Zoro and Sanji. Zoro versus King fight has pretty much been untouched in, like, the moves-wise. Of course, EX Zoro was Rooftop Zoro that fought Kaido. His fight with King didn't get animated till, I believe, 6 months later or so. It was quite a bit a long time after his EX came out. And yeah, it's basically just the rooftop. He had Onigiri from the killer fight. I'm not sure if he did it on the rooftop, he probably did. And then of course Ashura, move he used against Hybrid Kaido. And then Sanji, I'm surprised they didn't give him invisibility or shield, his Oni version. Like, his Oni version would have been probably way better on release if they gave him shield. That maybe make him a little broken, but, shield characters are just superior. You can survive attack and then just one-shot them. Garp, we got Yamato Hybrid. I believe she was the first shield EX, and she was pretty broken on release. Jabra, of course, running the meta right now with Garp. Shield characters are very strong, so imagine a dual EX with it being able, maybe like make it a dark attacker. You have Zoro and Sanji, of course. Sanji has shield, Zoro has his King of Hell state. And, of course, they have the cool attack. Zoro can have whatever the attack he beat King with, or whatever it was called. And then Sanji can have his blue flame. And they have their unique stats. They, of course, both of them, their version 1 and version 2, or version 1 of Oni Sanji and version 1 of Oni Zoro, both have the switching mechanic where they can switch to the element they're weak against, or strong against, whatever. And yeah, it's pretty OP. Make them a dark attacker that will make them stronger against a light element. And then if they get hit, it's just a normal mechanic. If they get hit by a blue, they turn to a green. If they get hit by a red, they turn to blue, and so on. And of course, them being base element, dark element, they will be strong against light element also. Of course, back then, light element didn't exist, neither did dark element, so the Oni, Zoro, and Sanji do not have the mechanic to do that and switch to dark and light. But yeah, really cool dual EX design. Like I said, they could give Sanji, imagine him with shield plus invisibility, and then Zoro with insane attack and King of Hell state status effect. Would be a very insane dual EX, and probably the most broken if they had all those abilities thrown together. Next we have is Garp and Sengoku. Of course, this EX I don't think would happen for a long time if it did happen. If it did happen at all. Garp and Sengoku, of course, have been stated to fight with each other, not with each other, ally, I guess, and, they fought Roger, Whitebeard, they were fighting all the pirates together. They fought Shiki together in Strong World. Pretty sure it was mostly an off-screen fight, but... very cool EX. Like I said, probably won't happen for a while if it did happen since we just got EX Garp. Personally, I probably would rather have a standalone Sengoku, but dual EX would also be cool. But, standalone Buddha form Sengoku giant, whatever, giant transformation. would be way cooler, I think. And of course, we just got EX Garp. EX Prime Garp would be very cool, but, you know, EXL Garp definitely gets it done. But yeah, imagine Buddha Sengoku and the Galaxy Impact Prime Garp. Of course, if he can use it in his old age, he can 100% use it in his prime. Of course, we've never seen Garp use Galaxy Impact or anything like that in his prime. But yeah, like I said, if he can use it in his old age, he definitely had it in his prime too. But yeah, next we have is Fujito and Green Bull. Of course, they fought kinda together in Mary's Wa. They also fought against each other because Fujito, you know, summoned the meteor trying to flee, let the revolutionary free everyone, stuff like that. You know, Fujitoa is an admiral, but he also cares about, you know, corruption and stuff, and he's trying to fix it. And yeah, they kind of clashed a bit in Marijoa for a little bit. Instead of fighting the revolutionaries, they were fighting each other for a little bit. And of course, it doesn't matter if they are, you know, allied, fighting together, or if they're fighting against each other, because we saw Yamato and Ace dual EX. They were fighting against each other, and they still got a dual EX, you know. So, whether they're rivals or not, or they fought each other and instead of fought together, they could definitely still become a dual EX. But yeah, Fujito and Greenbow, probably their best chance to get an EX version ever. I hope they do, but yeah, Greenbow I really thought was going to be EX when, you know, he appeared in the anime. And unfortunately he was not, he was just Bounty Fest. And then Fujitoa, of course, came out. I'm not sure when Fujitoa came out, but as an admiral, I think Fujitoa definitely, yeah, well, I mean, he definitely deserves an EX. If they make someone like S-Snake and Yamato EX, any admiral could definitely be EX. I mean, even Z has EX. Z was pretty powerful, though, I think, as an admiral. I mean, he pretty much trained Aokiji, Akainu, Kizuru, and a ton of vice admirals. I'm actually not sure if he trained Akainu, but I think it was stated. I know mostly Kizuru it was stated he trained, but yeah, imagine, so we probably could make him a dual defender, EX. Of course, Green Bull would be very tanky. Imagine if he could actually transform in his tree form. You know, he could sit on the treasure, transform in his tree form. They couldn't grab the flag. You're very tanky, whatever. And then you could switch to Fujitoa. You could use an attack like Whitebeard or Kaido, where you hit every treasure with gravity, maybe knocking them back, plus giving them the gravity effect, so it takes them longer to get up. Would be a very cool dual defender design. Next we have is Roger and Whitebeard, of course another rival, dual EX, whatever. Of course we just got Whitebeard and Roger as an EX 1 year ago, so I don't think we would get this EX anytime soon. Maybe for like the 10th anniversary or something. Probably a long time away, but eventually I hope this character does get an EX. Of course, Whitebeard and Roger, two of the most strongest pirates. Imagine them as a dual EX attacker or something. Or it maybe make Roger a runner again and then Whitebeard a defender. They would be the most broken. And hopefully they don't make Roger instantly counter Whitebeard like a month after his release, like they did with the other Roger and Whitebeard release. Not sure why they did that. I don't know. I think it's just stupid. I know they wanted to get a dark element out, but making him absolutely destroy light element Whitebeard after everyone's been asking for a prime Whitebeard for forever. And then, yeah, just releasing an EX that pretty much, yeah, Roger was just better in every way. Could two-shot Garp, or, Whitebeard. But yeah, they could give him some kind of mechanic, maybe like a clash mechanic, where they, you know, clash, they do their hockey clash, they can knock everyone back, and then maybe switch forms. Maybe it could be like a skill 2-2, instead of holding the normal button, you have to use that skill. They clash for a second, and then you transform to the other character. Would be a very cool mechanic. Next character, we have Kaido and Big Mom. Again, they could have the same thing, clash mechanic, where they switch by clashing, and, you know, you clash, you switch to the other character, whatever. Personally, I probably would rather have a new EX Kaido instead of a Big Mom and Kaido dual EX, because, you know, Kaido, he could bring his purple hybrid form as a character. Also, they haven't touched his Flame Dragon form, you know, the form he decided he just had at the end of Luffy Gear 5 fight. Of course, he probably didn't think he would ever need it, but, you know, it's kind of random to me that Kaido just suddenly had this cool Flame Dragon form that we never seen him use or heard about. Of course, he could have just somehow awakened his fruit right there, just like Luffy, maybe. Who knows, but... You know, I'd rather have Flame Dragon Kaido, or a Purple Hybrid Kaido that can transform or use a move in the Flame Dragon form, than a dual EX in Big Mom. But if they did make a dual EX in Big Mom, make them attackers, both of them attackers, Big Mom could have insane heals, Kaido could have, you know, insane attack, maybe make him somehow a teleporting attacker. They do have a teleporting defender now, they have teleporting runners, of course. A teleporting attacker wouldn't be too crazy, you know, maybe just use that at the beginning of the match, you teleport to the main enemy's flag, and just hold off their defender all game or something like that, would be very cool. Next we have is a Wiping and Ace. I don't think this character would get an EX, or a character at all, but it is possible. If you think back to the Yamato and Ace, they pretty much clashed for one episode. They used like 2 moves at each other and they got an EX. So, you know, of course, Ace before he joined Whitebeard, and I mean, I guess technically he didn't join him, but he was still on the ship. They fought each other many times. Of course, Ace tried to kill Whitebeard in his sleep many times. Whitebeard, of course, just knocked him back. And, of course, after he beat Jinbei, Whitebeard showed up and they fought for a tiny bit there. Ace was very outmatched, but... It did happen. If Yamato and Ace can get an EX after just 1 episode and like 2 moves exchanged, Ace and Whitebeard can definitely get an EX. But I highly doubt it will happen. Would be very cool if it did though. Next character I don't think would happen, but Lucci and Kaku character would be very cool. Of course, like I said, both of them just pretty much came out kind of recently, so I highly doubt they would get an EX. But if they did in the future, I wouldn't be mad. You know, maybe in like 2-3 years, they revisit Egghead and they make a dual EX. Of course, Kaku on release was probably the best defender in the game. And then Lucci, of course, was definitely the best runner and probably attacker. But yeah, this character I don't think would happen. I just made it because I think it would be a cool concept if it did. Finally, we have another Yamato. Of course, we need another Yamato. I haven't gotten one in a long time. So, this character, we have Yamato Uta and S-Snake. So, of course, we haven't gotten an Uta for about 3 months now. I think it's about time we get another version of Uta. You know, 3 months, you know, I think they should release a Uta probably every month. I really think 3 months is a long wait away since we got our last version. I think it's due time for another Uta. And of course, Yamato, she has 3 EXs, but, you know, I think instead of Blackbeard, why not make another EX Yamato? I think it would be a very better idea. And then, of course, might as well throw S-Snake in there. S-Snake came out 6 months ago, you know. I think it's time for a version 2 S-Snake and, you know, make him a triple EX. First triple EX in the game, of course. Yamato, Uta, and S-Snake. Of course, like I said, all characters we desperately need another version of. Like I said, Yamato didn't get her last version since Ace and Yamato, that was 1 year ago already. And then, of course, 1 year before that, we got Hybrid Yamato. Or no, 6 months before that, we got Hybrid Yamato, so... you could also make it a transforming Yamato into Hybrid instead of just, you know, her base form. And like I said, Uta, or S-Snake, came out 6 months ago. She definitely deserved EX, and I think it's time for a version 2. And then Uta, like I said, came out about 3 months ago. She only has 3 versions in the game at the moment, which I think is very low. I think she should definitely have at least 10 versions by now, so hopefully this character comes true. And that is the dual EXs I think are coming, or I hope will come, whatever. But there we go. Not sure if I missed anyone pretty obvious. I kind of had trouble coming up with some of these dual EXs, so, you know, Zoro and Sanji, like I said, are probably the most likely. Maybe Wiping and Roger in like 2 years or something will probably happen. Green Bull and Fujitora is probably actually second, I think would probably come, but there we go. Not sure if I missed anyone, like I said, but that is the dual EXs.